Hello, I'm Sharon Morgan. I'm the chair of the Yamhill County Cultural Coalition's Arts, Culture, and Prosperity Project. And with me is...
I'm Rick Olson. I'm the Yamhill County Commissioner and ex-mayor of McMinnville, and I'm also here at the Congress today to help promote art in Yamhill County.
And we're just delighted that the Yamhill County Board of Commissioners is one of the hosts for this Arts and Heritage Congress, which is the first time this event has ever happened in the county. And it's taking place in this fabulous facility, the Chehalem Cultural Center in Newburgh.
And I'll just like that, if you've never been to the Chehalem Cultural Center, you really need to come over and look at all the art and look at the center. For the old grade school, it's just an amazing piece. And I think the building itself is a large piece of artwork. So I'd recommend, if you're watching this, to everybody come over to the Cultural Center and see the art.
The purpose of the Congress has been to gather people from throughout Yamhill County and people who are not necessarily working in the arts, maybe government people like Rick or business people. We have several teachers, a few students, some wonderful students who are helping us with the Congress by recording what happens in each of the 3 caucus sessions, and they are from George Fox University. So it's a diverse group, including representatives from the Grand Ronde tribe and our Spanish-speaking communities. So we're beginning that process of demonstrating how we can celebrate our diversity and be more inclusive, but also ways in which people can think about collaborating with artists and arts organizations across all the sectors that are so important to make up the prosperity of this county, but also the livability.
I think, and the only thing I'd like to bring up is I don't think people, when I first got involved with the art 10 years ago in McMinnville, I don't think anybody really realized the impact that the arts have on the economic development of McMinnville and of the city of Newburgh and of Yamhill County. The arts play a big role in the economic development and attracting new businesses, attracting new living wage jobs. So to me, the arts is very important, not only as the arts themselves, and it's not just the arts you can touch, it's the food you eat, the beverages you drink, the shows you see, the music you listen to. But arts definitely plays a very big part, and it will continue to play a big part, and even a bigger part, in the economic development of Yamhill County.
And that's based on a year's worth of research that was done in Yamhill County under the auspices of Americans for the Arts, their Arts, Economics, and Prosperity Study 5, in which the very stunning and startling figure that verified that for the fiscal year of 2015, 53 nonprofit arts groups generated a $45 million economic impact on this county.
And that's just phenomenal. Just on little Yamhill County, $45 million, but yet we've yet to scratch the surface. I had the privilege and the honor of heading up and being the leader of the Central County Caucus, which is the cities of McMinnville, the city of Dayton, and the city of Lafayette. And this morning we had an opportunity to all get together, about 25 of us in our caucus alone, and talk about the impacts of art on our cities and how we can make art better. A lot of things I learned that we didn't know about, but I think it's all about strategic partnerships, and for the arts and for the economic development vitality of Yamhill County, how we all could work together. So the idea of having workshops and caucuses and actually treating this whole event as a Congress went very well, and I think it's going to be a wonderful, excellent rest of the day.
Hi, my name's Travis. I work at the Chehalem Cultural Center here in Newburgh, Oregon. I am the recording engineer and event tech here, so I manage and work the studio and produce projects for artists all across the Yamhill County and even into the Portland area. I graduated at Clackamas Community College with music tech as my major, and the way I got to work here was while I was still going to school, I poked my head in the door and kind of started talking to the director and the events person here. And I really showed a good passion for the studio and what it could be and what I hoped it would be. And I'm still hoping to reach as many goals as I can for that. This place is such a good environment to work at. There's so many wonderful people and great ideas and new inspirations every day. Come on down and come check it out. There's plenty of projects to look at in the studio, plenty of beautiful art in the galleries, so we'd love to have you.
That was a call. That was a call to lunch. Microphone. But I'd like to welcome everyone. And many of you might call this your home. This is my home as well. But as a part of our tribal traditions, we always acknowledge and recognize the people from this place. This place has been called Chehalem for a very long time. Chehalem means the outside place in Tualatin, Calapooya. It's the name that our ancestors who lived in this place gave it. A lot of their winter villages were up near Gaston or in Patton Valley. Some of you may know that place. And Old Lake Wapato, that people may know more as an onion growing area, used to be where Wapato grew, and that was one of the primary foods of our Tualatin, Calapooya people. So I want to welcome you on behalf of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde to our homelands, which we've been here for over 500 generations. We have stories of the Missoula floods and how they flooded this valley. And we have a deep connection, we have deep traditions. And to be able to be a part of this event where people are coming together and understanding who we are as a county, dreaming about who we can become, we're grateful to be a part of that. And so with that, I won't keep you from your lunch. Our caterer has set up their meal, and I'm very grateful. So let's enjoy company, let's share our stories, let's keep that visioning that people had this morning, and let's continue to do this good work.
My name is David Harrelson. I'm the Cultural Resources Manager for the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. I'm also on the board at the Chehalem Cultural Center, and I'm here at the Yamhill Congress, the Arts and Heritage Congress, as a part of being involved in the arts here in Yamhill County. I've mentioned how we're building, while I've talked to other people today, we are building a cultural center in Grand Ronde. The name of that cultural center is Chichalu, and we're excited to open this spring in April. So we'll be opening a Phase 2 exhibit space. Some people have visited us in Phase 1. We had a small exhibit hall, but we'll be expanding that. We're excited to share the tribe's story. And all the activities here, the other part of the other county, or the other side of the county that I'm excited about being a part of, is all the activities that are happening at the Chehalem Cultural Center. So I'm here to share some of that tribal perspective while we're at the Congress, some of the insight about how we can engage and bring some of the creative solutions that the tribe has been implementing in our community with the broader county. The other part about that is not only is our reservation based partially in Yamhill County, but our ancestral people, the Tualatin Kalapuya as well as the Yamhill Kalapuya, are from this county itself. We're the original indigenous people of this land. Our people have been here for thousands of years. And so we bring that tradition and some of those teachings and that history and that deep connection to place when we have conversations with our local artists and community members. Today I participated in a couple different caucuses. I participated in the West Valley Caucus, which Grand Round is a part of West Valley, where we talked about ways that West Valley is contributing to this overall and how we break down those barriers of West Valley seeming like a place outside of the center, the sphere of Yamhill County. And then I also participated in the Green Caucus, which had a lot of people from the West Valley Caucus, but we shared a lot of different ideas about the importance of developing our internal community if we're going to pursue our external community. So that being tourism, and that in order to be authentic and even be an enjoyable experience for the visitors to Yamhill County, we know that we need to build the strength of our internal community. And so really wanting to be that, not just be a tourist destination, but be a really good place to live, where people can come and spend time with others. And keys to that were affordability and keeping events affordable, accessible to community members ourselves. And inherently all these other ideas came up, like the importance and need of housing. A lot of people are getting displaced in their ability to afford housing in Yamhill County as the Portland metro area moves out into our county. And this is a real challenge because if we have perpetually new people coming in all the time, how do we make sure that the people who live here know of our history, know of our heritage, and all the good work that has been occurring? And so, one thing leads to another, but we're working on those solutions. We're excited to move forward and find ways that this county can come together in the arts and in heritage.
Okay, how's that? All right. So thank you all for being here. Again, I hope you're enjoying your lunch. This is a little working lunch, so if you could just give me your attention for a little bit. My name is Deb Brooks. I am representing the Yamhill County Cultural Coalition. I'm currently the vice president, but I've served on the board for about 10 years. How many people here know about the Yamhill County Cultural Coalition? All right. That's good because, all these things that I've been to have said, we do our business, but how do we let people know what we do? And we have been trying as a board to get our name out there in various ways for a long time. And I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, but at least people here know who we are. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. So we are one of 45 county and tribal coalitions that were founded in 2002 by the Oregon Cultural Trust. And they had this great idea that if they brought in money from all Oregonians, they wanted it to go back out to Oregon cultural projects, but probably the best people to give out that money were the counties and tribes themselves. And I think that was a brilliant idea because it makes the counties responsive and efficient as far as, what are the needs in their county or tribe. Our mission is to increase cultural resources, opportunities, and participation in Yamhill County. Countywide, and that's another thing I've heard today, is that we all have our little silos that we operate in, but we need to think countywide. We're not a big county, and we're very spread out, and what we're here today to do is to try and consolidate and collaborate where we can. Mainly what we do is we pass on the Oregon Cultural Trust money through our annual grant process. We give a maximum of $2,500 in matching funds, and last year we funded 15 projects. And you can go on our website and find out the projects that we have funded in the past. Somebody asked me, what did you fund last year? And it all kind of blends together, but we really try to get a diversity of areas in the county, a diversity of what we call cultural facets as far as performance, visual, heritage, humanities, literary. So we really try to spread out the resources as much as we can. For the past 3 years, we've gotten generous money from the Oregon Community Foundation for their small arts and culture grant. So we've been able to distribute, more money even than what the Oregon Cultural Trust gives us. We also, and this is in your folder, if you forget about all this important stuff, there's a little thing that talks about Yamhill County Cultural Coalition. We also do a cultural campaign where we engage some of the local nonprofits and help them raise money in a campaign that goes out to whoever we know are culture supporters in our community. And you're going to start seeing those emails. And it's amazing that we usually give out about $22,000, and that comes from 60 donors. So if more people would donate to our local organizations, then they would be much more powerful. Because again, what I've heard here is that we are a small county. We have a lot of wonderful cultural organizations, but most of them are volunteer run without staff. They don't have people who can do a fundraiser. They don't have the time and the resources. So we have a give site on our website where you can give to any of our 17 cultural partners. And I can't not talk to you about the Oregon Cultural Trust matching donor. You have a wonderful little bookmark in your folder. It says Double the Love. And I'm always amazed how many people don't know about this. You know that giving to cultural organizations is tax deductible, but if you give to your local, your favorite cultural organization, whether it's Yamhill County or anywhere else, and then you make a matching gift, like you give $500 to your favorite cultural organizations, and then you make a matching donation to Oregon Cultural Trust, you get $500 back on your taxes, just right there. So it's like, that was a free $500. And I'm amazed that people don't know about that more. So not only do you get your tax deduction on your federal taxes, but you get $500 off on your, or more, on your state taxes. So, all right, that's my marketing spiel. This year, the Cultural Coalition has taken on a new project. There was a dedicated committee of local county citizens that came up with a proposal, and it's been in the works for a long time, for a Yamhill County Cultural Asset Award. This award is sponsored by the Yamhill County Cultural Coalition, and it will be offered every other year, so biannually, to a worthy recipient in recognition of significant civic and cultural contributions. Nominations will be solicited from all of our communities throughout Yamhill County, and we really will work hard to get the different regions and communities represented. We're offering the award for the first time at this Congress, which is an appropriate place to recognize someone who has made great contributions to the cultural vitality of Yamhill County. A plaque, a beautiful plaque that was created and donated by Monica Setzel Phillips. And this, oh, thank you. No, you can hold it. So Monica created this beautiful plaque, and the imaging, I understand, the leaves are to represent the natural beauty of our county, and then there are lots of these great roofs on there to represent our community. So it's really a beautiful piece. So this piece will travel to the community of the recipient and be there for 2 years, and then it will get passed on to the next community.
Thank you, Deb. No, we're talking about county-wide. I just hope all of you McKinville folks here are taking a look around this facility that Newburgh has created. Pretty special. I've been involved with some of the people that worked on this for a lot of years. It's just a great place to put into community serving the county and the region. Deb, and she mentioned Monica, who worked on this, we're two members of that committee. A few others, Sharon Morgan and Connie Keys, Lonnie Parrish, and Ilsa Purse were part of that group. The group had great support from the city of McMinnville, from the McMinnville Downtown Association in support of this award. And I even noticed Charlie Walker here, who was with Sherry. Charlie was, former Linfield College president, who was instrumental in the formation of the Oregon Cultural Trust. So the group got together and they wanted to honor one special person, but those talks evolved into the creation of a continuing award for Yamhill County people. It was fitting because culture, after all, is a product of evolution and convergence. Our lives evolve, the best parts of our lives, sometimes the worst parts of those lives, converge into things that define our culture. So with that thought, I'd just like to talk briefly about the evolution and convergence in the life of our recipient, who most of you probably know is Marilyn Worrix. Marilyn's love of music came early. She had a passion for making things and cooking. Those and other passions evolved and converged into the life of an artist and a leader of cultural organizations. In civic life, Marilyn evolved from planning commissioner to city councilor to chairman of the Oregon Land Conservation Development Commission. In business, Marilyn evolved from realtor to owner of an admired real estate firm. When she needed to master the complexities of that profession, she went to law school and did just that. These and other things, you can see on the handout at your table just to get an idea of the breadth and depth of some of the activities. Marilyn was a founding member of the McMinnville Downtown Association. When the dreams emerged over there for renovating the Cosine House into a permanent home for the downtown, Marilyn led that campaign and led the development campaign that made that a reality. In real life, Marilyn emerged from one marriage with a friendship intact and a trio of 12 children. And then her life evolved into a partnership that was a true convergence of talents and passions. Marilyn and Matt Worrix created a wonderful downtown residence in McMinnville that's widely known for its historic elegance, and the studio where Marilyn retreated to make things, stained glass, books, and other creations. They shared their home openly with the community and hosted special events for all manner of cultural, civic, and community groups. Marilyn and I actually were partners briefly at one time. She came across the street and made me join her in buying a building across the street from both of us, because that's the only way she could clean it up. Well, so I have to say that if you're going to have a partner in real estate, it's really nice to have one that's a realtor and a negotiator and an attorney and a developer. But when we sold that building, the neighborhood was a better place. You know, our lives evolve. Matt is gone now, and Marilyn's life revolves more around her grandchildren. In fact, I'm supposed to talk fast because she's going to catch a plane today to Denver to revisit those twins. So now it's time for the convergence of this award presentation. So if you would, join me in welcoming a real cultural asset, Marilyn Worrix. We have a couple of things. The first one is, I guess I'll call it a memory box. This is a piece created by Olson, McMinnville artist, and it holds about a dozen or so recollections of people and also the contributions that Marilyn has made to their groups and their individuals and their groups. And so that's one small book. And we have something else that Lonnie Parrish is going to show us before maybe we can talk Marilyn into saying something.
Congratulations. You're a legend. So part of what the group decided to do was we have this microphone.
Mike.
Yeah, here. Does this work? Yeah. One of the things that our group decided to do is we have this beautiful plaque that will be hung in a civic place of the community's choice and the recipient's choice. But we want them to have something special of their own. So each biennial, when this award is given out, we have a commissioned art piece created for that special person. And unfortunately, Mark Terry's not here. He had to go back to school, but he is the artist that created this piece for Marilyn for a new home. And it's a totem, and it's all about her. It's absolutely stunning. It can go inside or outside. So Nicole helped us a lot with this. So you'll find the foundation is of books and of knowledge, and building the pillars to have the Acorn stands for knowledge, to build and create community like you have. So the book there is one that you did your thesis on, and this book, whose had its covers worn off because they needed to read it so often, Peter and the Wolf. And then there's a little surprise, because I understand your husband liked to have little surprises around the house and in the building. There's a tiny little bird poking out from here. So anyway, this is for you. Congratulations.
Well, I'm in awe. This is truly amazing. What an absolute treasure. The good news for you folks is that I didn't know anything was up till my whole family appeared. And I thank every one of you for being here. You know, when I came to this county in 1974, I came with my family from a really small community, 45 people, in a very remote location. And a place that I'd gone to when I was 19 years old and stayed for 12 years. I'd never lived in a real community before. That was a very special place. And in fact, my family just went back for a 100-year reunion to that very special place, which is a combination college cattle ranch. Wonderful place, but not a community in the sense that we normally think of a community. And so this was a first-time thing for me. And I immediately just threw myself into this community. I mean, like, walk out on the high diving board and just jumped in with no experience in living that kind of community life. Did it business-wise, but I did it into the cultural community, which just accepted me and showed me a world that I fell in love with from the very first time I arrived here. There was a richness in this community at that time. You know, the cultural community that you see here now didn't just happen now. It was very rich back in the 70s. This has always been a special place. The organization then wasn't the AAYC, it was the McMinnville Art Association. But we were located in the beautiful house that now houses the McMinnville Chamber of Commerce. And we had classes and we had a gallery. And this has always been a very active cultural community. The West Valley was an artist enclave that many people in Oregon knew about. There was just a lot going on. I started taking classes. I took a night class over at the high school, and from Bob Bannister on painting, and met a wonderful man named Matt Worrix who's taking the same class. And there was just so many wonderful things going on in this community that I knew I was home as soon as I got here. And this has been a process of growing a taproot from that very day. And I have 2 little grandkids now that I love more than life itself. And of course my daughter in Colorado and Albuquerque now says, aren't you gonna maybe think about moving, Mom? Well, you know, the taproot's just too deep. This community is just my home. You're my people. And I appreciate what you have just done today more than I can tell you. You make this community what it is. And I thank you dearly for today.
Say, a couple things I didn't mention. One was that the McMinnville Mayor, Scott Hill, and President of our Downtown Association, Jenny Berger, here. And the interesting thing is kind of like we started to see more connectivity through this county. And when we have events that are shared in McMinnville and Newburgh and the area, we started to more and more see people that we see more regularly. And it's really great. It's a really great thing for the future connectivity of the cultural communities throughout the county. And no, you kids are not going to be able to move Marilyn away. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark Terry, and I'm here today at the first ever meeting of the Cultural Coalition Congress of Yamhill County. I'm here representing George Fox University as a long-term member of the faculty and partner in the community. I'm also here as the chair of the board of directors at the Cultural Center at which we are meeting. It's a delight to be here and to be gathered with so many like minds and spirits. I guess I'm lucky enough also to be here today as the originator of the sculpture that was presented to Marilyn Worrix to honor her contributions to culture over her long and very productive career. So to honor Marilyn for her work, as I did the research on who she is and what she's done, I knew her as a book artist and have long admired her work. But I did not know that she had been a legislator and very, very important in the protection of rural properties from overdevelopment. And LCDC is kind of a dirty word for some people, but she's the person, one of the people behind it who has made it a really important part of making Oregon livable. She's been deeply engaged in education and arts and culture in McMinnville. She's a really important patron of the arts. So as I tried to figure how do I somehow do homage to her and her contributions, I gathered a group of people who are Marilyn fans around me and went with their information. And so the sculpture is founded on books, great books. So there's classics like the Odyssey and the Iliad and Thomas Hardy. It turns out that Marilyn did her master's thesis on Tess of D'Urberville's, so that book is referenced in there. And her children had not just fond but poignant memories of being read to the point that one of their favorite books of poetry and one of their favorite storybooks were practically worn to pieces. And so those books are there. Another little tidbit that would be obscure to the average observer is that apparently Marilyn's late husband was very fond of surprises. And he would put things in unexpected places and play little pranks. And so there's a nod to him with the book Peter and the Wolf. If you look closely on the back side of the sculpture, if there is a back side on a sculpture in the round, but if you look closely, there's a little bird sneaking out of the book as the first little character in Prokofiev's great composition. But the important part are the acorns, the idea of these tiny little seeds that when planted and when they take root become enormous, great big, huge, ecosystems, environments where they provide us shade, they give us fuel and shelter, but for the animal kingdom they provide a whole environment in which they can live and thrive. And so the idea of the oak tree being a metaphor for community, Marilyn is a nurturer of community, and the bird that crowns this piece, being that bird that has life and takes wing and goes and sings the song of culture anew in a new place. So that's the story of the sculpture and the kinds of things that I'd intended to be read in it.